there's some storms going on outside when we're recording this, and I think that's just setting a good vibe.
Oh yeah,
maybe an accurate vibe.
Yeah.
Storms are coming, listeners.
And that's how we're going to start the show. Welcome back, everyone, to the show of Requirement, a Harry Potter podcast, out everywhere to where you can listen to podcasts, and also streaming everywhere on YouTube. And remember, this podcast is brought to you by the Gazebo Effect Network. So just a quick shameless plug. Go check out our other podcasts as well. Fandom Done Right, where Spencer, Cole, and Tim host the show, talk all things of many different kinds of fandoms: Marvel, DC, Percy Jackson,
Aragon.
Mission Impossible, Aragon, like all of these kinds of things. If you're interested in any of those things, go check out that podcast.
It's a mess, but it's fun.
It is. It's a beautiful mess. And also the Star Wars Historian Show, where Luke and we talk all things Star Wars, and go check out our latest episode on Celebration news and also the last 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. But like I said, here we are. The show Requirement. We're also streaming on YouTube at Harry Potter Fanatics on YouTube. So if you're watching us, you get all the cool stuff. You get to see all of our crazy reactions that you would not get to see in the videos. And so check those out, as Spencer is pointing to different kinds of things. But I'm your host,
Mirror
David.
effect. So where do you think you're pointing? It's like, oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm your host, David. I'm joined by my very good friends, Spencer and Abby. Guys, here we are. We got a lot to talk about tonight. And so let's go ahead and let's start off with something very lighthearted, something that makes all of us smile. And that is Hogwarts Legacy. As you know, all 3 of us, we now have the game and we're playing it. And so I just want each of us to kind of go through what our current progress is and our just thoughts we may be having about the game. Abby, why don't you go first?
I have officially completed the main storyline, I guess.
Yay.
I wasn't counting that last quest because I thought it was dumb because I'd finished everything else. And it made you level up like 10 levels before you could do the house cup. That's a whole nother.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
The leveling system is kind of weird in this game. I will say that.
Yeah. I'll talk about my frustrations in a second. So I have completed the main storyline, saw the credits and everything. Woohoo. Now it's just like side quests, and I don't know that I have very many of those left, but there's still like a ton of other things for me to do. Like I have a ton of the Merlin trials that I haven't completed.
Yeah. Or
like the ancient magic sites that I haven't done. Still probably got a lot of field guide pages and some other stuff to do, but so it's like all the extra little bits that I have left, minus just probably 10 or less side quests. I only have 2 of them. I don't know where the other ones are, so I'm gonna have to go try and find them.
Yeah,
because they're not on my map, and so I maybe just haven't run across them yet.
Non-Hogwarts Legacy players will not get this question, but how much gear can you carry at a time?
Well, it depends on how many Merlin trials you've completed.
That's the real.
And I've done very few, and so I can only hold like 24 things at a time.
That's a lot still. But I imagine you open a chest and then you're like, okay, what do I get rid of?
Well, it goes by so quickly. Like you lose space so fast because you're collecting so much in this game.
Instantly.
Yeah, so it goes by quickly. I enjoyed the main storyline and everything, and I still have fun with it. I did feel that it was kind of dumb that like I finished the main storyline at like level 23 or 24, and then it was like, all right, cool. Well, you can't do this very last quest and do the house cup until you're level 34. And I was like, dang it. So it's just a quest sitting on there that I can't do until I level up 10 levels. And then by the time I got to it, I was like, okay, well, what cool stuff am I going to see? And it was literally just a scene.
Is it the like kind of the same thing from like Hogwarts Mystery at the very end of the year and you win the house cup and it's just like, oh yeah, your character tap on the screen to get him to jump.
It's pretty
much finishing. It's like finishing for like the trophy on Mario Kart Wii, where it's like you got first place, and you have to just watch the whole video.
Yeah,
every
and then they're
Yeah.
like, "Woo!" And then people come over and congratulate you, and then it's over. And I was like, I had level up 10 levels just to see that. That's ridiculous.
How many
But-
Arkham games have you played, Abby? Any of them?
I don't know if I've played any of them.
Oh, well, first of all,
Yeah.
you should. But if you get to the point where it's like, oh, you need to do all the Riddler trophies to come and get me the Riddler, that's when you're done. You've completed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You could spend hours getting 300 trophies, or you could not have a disappointing ending and just finish. I only did it for one game, and it was a massive disappointment. So,
Yeah. Anyways, that was just confusing for me. But I'm still playing little bits at a time, trying to finish and complete some of the other things that I didn't do. But yeah, I basically, the way I play video games, it feels like I've almost completed the video game.
Right.
Just minus a few quests.
Just got to hit that 100% completion. Hit that badge.
I don't know that I have ever played any game all the way through 100% completion.
Yeah.
Like Lego games, Assassin's Creed, like maybe one of the Assassin's Creed games actually, but the rest.
I have.
No.
Well, now I guess I've done it 3 times. I 100% God of War 4, not the new one. I've 100% Spider-Man at least once, maybe twice.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I realized I did all the Riddler trophies on Arkham Knight, I did 100% that one.
Nice.
Yikes. It was not worth it. Lots of Googling for really disappointing ending that I watched on YouTube. So I spoiled it for myself years before. But yeah. David, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. So I'm on level 28, maybe 29 right now, and I'm about 66% done with the main story. I've just been doing a lot of exploring, hitting as many like kind of side quests and side character quests as I can, and just kind of exploring the whole map before I kind of get into back into the main story, just because there's just so much that I want to do in it, and I want to unlock abilities so that way it can be like super, super powerful when I do like the main stuff. So the only thing that has bothered me about the game so far is just that like it tells you stuff like, oh yeah, you need to be this level to do this mission, and it's not very high. So like level 18 and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. And then I show up and I start battling people on my way to this quest, and it's in the same area, and they're like level 34. And I'm like, why are these characters so high? Like why are these levels like higher than me? And I'm able to complete the task anyway and defeat all the monsters and stuff like that. But it's just like how the combat ratings and all that kind of stuff works. I'm just like, it's a little bit inconsistent. But other than that, I'm having a lot of fun. One of my favorite things to do in the game is any like broom challenge, like racing and timing, all that. Because I love, like there was one, it took me like 10 tries to do, but when I did it, man, I felt so good. So those kind of missions are like really fun for me. But yeah, that's my progress, how I'm doing.
Okay, I aired all my grievances before we started recording, and that was my bad. I'm trying to remember all that I said. I'm level 17 or 18 now. David said I got the Room of Requirement in 6 hours. I don't know if that's an achievement or a detriment. I don't know if that's a good thing or I am taking it really slow.
Mm-hmm.
But I pretty much flew from there. I found it very frustrating getting money for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly, I think they did really well at making certain things. And then they didn't, I think they ran out of time or didn't spend as much time on other things that I would have appreciated more. And so, as we were saying, like, I feel like the common room and the house camaraderie is a little dead. And maybe that's because your main character is you. And so they can't say your name out loud. You only have certain kinds of responses because it has to be generic for anybody making the character. And so they'll say like, oh, what a great Hufflepuff. But then that's it. It's like, oh, this random voice actor had to say 4 lines in a studio. Great. Thanks for thinking of me. So I was just trying to put my finger on like what makes this, it's great. What could it improve upon it, I guess. And so that's part of it. I feel like that's what the Harry Potter story has. We'll get back to that later. But that's kind of what Hogwarts Legacy is missing, if you will. And then like I feel like Hogsmeade's just full of people. But in Hogwarts, it really depends on where you're at. And at what time. And so I don't know what I could do to improve all of it, but I feel like there's just a few things that I would do. Like the broom flying, fantastic. Really well done. It's super fun. But there's no Quidditch.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering if because they didn't want to spend time on Quidditch.
They didn't have time, maybe.
Like they didn't have time to do Quidditch, and the easy way to explain that away was just like, well, just have Headmaster Black. He is known as the worst headmaster in Hogwarts history. So if he cancels Quidditch, that just helps with that narrative. So I'm thinking probably it was a timing issue in terms of why we don't have Quidditch. But anyway, keep going.
A timing, or I don't know. It's just things that I wish it had that it doesn't. And that's one of those things. Mechanics wise, I think most of the fighting mechanics is good. I haven't had any trouble beating anybody. And I'm on normal or hard. But maybe that's because I play a lot of third-person shooters. Or at least I have. I don't use Protego at all. I just dodge everything. But maybe, and also, the disillusionment charm. Like I'm the worst at sneaking in this game. You can't sneak up on anybody. I get caught every single time.
I gave up on sneaking around. I just go in there, guns blazing or wands blazing. Sorry.
Well, no, not in that scene. It's when I have to go get the demiguises. Like when I have to sneak around prefects, then I just suck. And of course, that only matters in missions. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you can just run around all night, all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Or you could change from night to day, whenever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
I like the steampunk vibes of it. That's all I had to say. Like the outfits. Everything's got goggles and everything's got this and that. It's great.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, I did like the whole changing. I liked how you could change the appearance of the stuff you had equipped. Because the stuff I had equipped, sometimes I was like,
remember they had those like lizard eyes that are like this, and you're like, oh, what? I'm not gonna.
I had like 4 pairs. I have like 4 pairs of lizard or dragon eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is good. It did take me 100 years to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. I do change my outfits though. Like if I'm doing stuff in Hogwarts, I put on my like Gryffindor gear and all that. And then if I'm traveling to Hogsmeade or outside of the castle, I like put on a specific like my traveling wizard's gear and stuff like that. It's just super fun. I love it.
But do you wear your nightgowns in the common room? That's the real question.
The thing is that I don't go to the common room really at all.
That's what I'm saying. The common room makes no impact on the story.
Here's my pushback, and I think Abby has the same pushback. I don't play Hogwarts Legacy just to hang out in the common room.
But that's what we read about. That's the Hogwarts experience.
I didn't read about it.
What books did you read? Harry,
I read-
Hermione, and Ron, they're in the common room.
I thought you were talking about Hogwarts Legacy in particular. But
No.
but no, I never read the Harry Potter books and says, "Oh, I want to spend my entire time in the common room," and
No, I'm
or
not saying
expect that, or expect that from a video game when the video game is, "Hey, I'm going to be a wizard. I'm going to do all these cool, crazy quests and stuff like that."
But it's not
I
cool,
didn't have
crazy quests, is it?
I didn't have any expectations of, oh man, I can't wait to sit in the common room and drink butterbeer and engage in conversations with NPCs.
It's just, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I would like to do.
See, I think that just depends on a personal preference as to how you like to play video games. Because I would not enjoy that.
That's what
I would
this
not
game is
enjoy
like
that at
selling
all.
itself as in a lot of ways, is that it's this like choose your own adventure Hogwarts experience. But then like you go to class and it's like a cutscene, barely, right? And then you do whatever you're going to do for the story, which is usually learning a spell that has nothing to do with the class you just took.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair. I mean,
Hogwarts is a school.
I learned Flipendo from Professor Garlic, and she teaches herbology. So I mean,
she taught Wingardium Leviosa, and we also have Levioso, which is not the same spell.
It's not.
One's for objects, and one's not for objects.
Hey,
one's for enemies. You know, I'm just
listen.
It's
for
okay.
those of you
who wanted better.
For those of you who wanted a Hogwarts adventure, being sitting in a common room at any point in time, God bless you. But I think
extended periods of time.
I'm
it could be part of the story that you and your house are trying to do something. If you're doing the house cup, then shouldn't the people in your house matter? I can't even name who's in my house.
That's fair. I
was that's a good fair. Point. I was gonna say we interacted more with other people outside of our houses.
Sebastian.
But
so there's some characters where they spend more time on, but they're few and far between. Like Sebastian,
Poppy,
Ominous. Poppy's in my house.
Natty,
I think.
Natty's in my house.
Natty, Ominous is. Ominous is like one of the most interesting characters in the game.
Yeah, love him.
For the greater Harry Potter universe,
right?
Is he? I don't think he can be Marvelo's dad. Can he?
I don't know.
Brother?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think of how that would. I think Marvelo had to be alive during that time,
right?
So he's probably a brother.
Yeah.
Talk about a name like Ominous.
It's true.
So, but yeah, they just put so much effort, and I just wish it was a little more engaging. And maybe that's just something that'd be done with time or with future installments.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so
it feels like I'm playing a game in 2023 with character interactions from 2012.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that in terms of how the cutscenes work and all of that. I will agree. I will agree.
Some of them aside, like the main quest ones and Professor Fig aside.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them, especially like the very non-important side quests, I am always very tempted to just skip the conversation entirely because I'm like, I don't want to listen to this. You want me to go get your nippler?
If we're all skipping it, maybe it should be different.
Well, in full disclosure though, I also skip the conversations in my side quests in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like that's just a reality for any side quest in any game.
I just want to.
But Hogwarts Legacy and Star Wars: The Old Republic are very different. Like,
no, they're very similar.
The Old Republic was made 20 years ago.
10 years ago, but yes, I get your point. Yeah.
10 years is 20 years in video games anyway, so.
But I don't know. They're still both in kind of in the same realm of RPG, main character story, side quest, main quest, like all kinds of things.
Playing Assassin's Creed, I would skip, or when I would watch the God of War playthroughs because I can't play them, I would sometimes fast forward through cutscenes.
Yeah.
Or through some dialogue, but
it's okay. You can call out.
I mean,
You can call it my favorite game of all time. It's fine.
that's what we do. That's what the
It
show
was
does.
okay, but it's maybe it's different when you play it, but when you just watch it, it's like
Yeah.
this is like
It's a bit different when
16
it's on the big
hours.
screen
Yeah.
and you're.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a
for
really it's shot as it's made as a one take 16-hour movie,
sure. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and you play
Yeah.
parts of it.
Yeah.
Well, you
for
play
sure.
most of it, but yeah.
Right.
Well, anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our second non-main topic, and it is the big news out of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and that is HBO Max. I don't know if they finalized the deal yet, but
That's what I feel like it's still highly rumored. I don't know that it'll actually happen still.
from last
can
obviously
only
last that
hope.
we heard is that it is currently being finalized, HBO Max, with a deal to create a Harry Potter's reboot series. And what would this entail? What would this mean? It would mean that there would be 7 seasons with a season covering a book. And so this would include an entirely new cast. So a new Harry, Ron, Hermione, Dumbledore, Minerva, Severus, everybody would be a new actor in the role. And it's also rumored that the creator of the franchise would also be heavily involved with the production to make sure that it stays faithful to the original story. And so we've talked about this before in a previous episode. We didn't think it was going to happen. I mean, we obviously heard the rumors and all this, and like Abby said, maybe it still is a rumor, or maybe people were just jumping on the news. Even fandom is jumping on the news really fast, but just go ahead. I know both of you guys feel very strongly about this, and so you guys can go off. This is your time.
This isn't like my thoughts, but I think it's decently likely it's going to get made, because I don't think it's more than a rumor, whether I like it or not.
Right.
So initially when I heard about it, I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then I was reading comments, and I can appreciate people wanting to see things in this series that they didn't get to see come to life from the books and the movies. I can appreciate that. There were a lot of scenes from Goblet of Fire that I'm like, man, that would have been cool to see. Or, some things from some of the other books, I'm like, man, they completely left out Winky altogether. That would have been really nice. The whole house elf movement, that would have been awesome. Ultimately, I don't want a reboot. Even though it'd be cool, those extra things, I don't want a reboot. I feel like it's too soon, because I feel like Harry Potter and those movies are still so heavily watched and
marathons
consumed.
at least every 2 months, or
all
maybe
the time.
every month. Yeah, all the time.
They're still so popular that it feels, I know that this has been said a lot online and in conversations, but it'd be like trying to reboot the original trilogy of Star Wars. It's like, that's still so popular. They're like, no. Why would you do that?
It's even more recent. It's even more recent.
Know.
It'd be like rebooting the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, if anything.
Right. And so ultimately, plus part of me is also trying to recognize my bias, and that these movies are very nostalgic for me. I grew up on these and I love them. And I think they're very well made. I know some people on the internet disagree with that, and I think that's dumb. But you can at me in our Instagram comments or something. But I think the movies were well made. They're not perfect. They can always be better. We can always improve. But I love them. And I don't think we need a reboot. And I think it's ridiculous that we're trying to push for a 7-season TV show about something that's still so popular and so well loved by so many right now, the way it is.
Yeah, this has David Zaslav written all over it. He's the money guy for Warner Brothers Discovery.
Get new content. I want new stuff. I don't want a reboot.
Yeah, David, you should take this. No, we should take this clip out and put it on our Instagram. We should at Warner Brothers, at Warner Brothers Discovery, at She Must Not Be Named if we have to. As I'm going to try and sound serious, but I'm also still making jokes, which is fine. As Larry the Cucumber said, there's a time to be silly and there's a time to be serious. Listeners, we don't want this. We don't need it. We have eight movies, and like at least 4.5 of them are great, if not all of them. I have to agree with Abby. Like the universe. This is a stupid joke. Patrick, I'm going to quote Patrick Starr now. Warner Brothers has it set to R for reboot, but they need to have it set to E for expand the universe. And there are so many ways they can do that. As we've already said, they could do re-releases and do expanded editions. As a podcast I heard earlier today said, back in the days, they just used to make a new DVD cover and sell them again. Make extended editions. Make extended editions and just sell that. We make Cursed Child if you have to. I don't want that. No one wants that right now. It's too early. But you could make that. You can make expansion series. We already pitched a Draco Malfoy series. Everyone wants a Marauder series. I'm kind of hoping that this rumor turns into that. It won't. It probably won't. It'll probably be a reboot. But it would be really nice if it was just a Marauder series instead, like a TV series.
Right.
She Must Not Be Named. People are not fans of this person right now. They don't want someone that has creative control like that. They want her out, like completely out. It's just a response to Wheel of Time being made with Brandon Sanderson, although he kind of got booted, so that one's kind of a bad example. Rick Riordan is writing screenplays and on set for Percy Jackson. Christopher Paolini is going to write screenplays for Allegasia and The Inheritance Cycle when that goes on Disney+. So this is a response to all of that. Last of Us creators doing his thing. And so Zaslav and the Warner Brothers people are going, this is making money. Let's do this again. But people don't, this is different because people don't really like this creator right now. We all have our own opinions. We're not going to get into that. But the general populace probably is not going to really want to support this for the same reasons that Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore was not successful. I even came up with another idea, guys. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah, give it to us.
A Quidditch series. Oliver Wood is our main character. He fails, and he has to become the coach, and he decides to become the coach of the Chudley Cannons. And he has to take it'd be like an inspiration from Ted Lasso.
That's what I was about to ask you. Is this Ted Lasso inspired?
Yes. But then it's a character that we know who's old enough to play this character again. And he's trying to get the Chudley Cannons back to the title race. And who does he get to play for him? Ginny Weasley and Harry Potter, if we can. But Ginny Weasley would be great. Yeah. Maybe she has her first kid and the Hollywood Harpies are like, no, get out of here. And she wants to play Quidditch again. And so she plays for Oliver Wood and the Chudley Cannons. And it's the worst team in the league. And they have their Chicago Cubs back to victory story. Boom. Money. Make it. Just make something. Greenlight anything that's not a reboot. And you'll probably make money. As long as it's as long as She Must Not Be Named is not super involved. / if not involved at all, if you can afford to.
Mm-hmm.
Just so people would see it.
Yeah, I think regardless of how anybody feels or how we feel, and I know, and Spencer, I know you know this, but just in case our listeners don't, it's very unlikely that anything related to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is going to be exclusive of the creator of the entire franchise. Like, it's just, it's virtually impossible. I was going to play devil's advocate, but Abby kind of already hit the point the only point that I was going to make for that side. So now I'm going to go ahead and state, kind of just add some things off of what you guys said, to say that I'm probably still going to watch possibly the reboot. I don't know if I am or not. But if David is actually looking at the success of other shows to basically do a reboot, there's one very important thing that is missing from all of those other franchises that the Harry Potter franchise does have, and that is successful movies. Say what you want about them, about how close they are to the books or whatnot. You look at Percy Jackson, they put out 2 movies that were not good at all. Like, they were bad. If I would be more inclined to just be like, oh yeah, let's do a reboot, if they did like 2 movies as well, or they stopped after the Goblet of Fire because they were just so bad and so terrible. But they weren't. They were great movies. And Deathly Hallows Part 2, 1 and 2 were great films with an excellent score. And like, you've told an entire story already, and it's like you guys were saying, that's like rebooting the prequel trilogy. I know a lot of people would rather erase the sequel trilogy, but that's not going to happen now. Like, because whether you like them or not, they were successful. I mean, it is what it is what it is. And so to do a reboot is to, in my mind, and like Spencer was saying, it's like, oh well, what's going to make what was the most successful that Harry Potter has ever been? Well, it was the original storyline for this franchise. Oh, let's just go ahead and do that. No, but that's been done already. Like, we've already done that. Oh yeah, but we can just do it again. To me, that's chaotic. That is a crumbling franchise move. And that's what scares me about this entire thing. It's you shut down Fantastic Beasts. Okay, fine, whatever. Pick up something new. Start something new. The Marauder series. Everybody wants it. Everyone's been clamoring for it probably since Prisoner of Azkaban.
More people than are clamoring for a reboot.
Exactly. And,
I would say.
And so I don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers. I don't know why they're choosing to do this. I don't know.
It's also neglecting all the great work that has already gone into these movies.
Yeah.
Like, say what you will about missing scenes with house elves or scenes with the Order of the Phoenix and Order of the Phoenix, which those are the 2 main things that people are complaining about. 2 sometimes parts of the books that I was fine with not seeing in the movies. But like the composers, the cinematography, the CGI people, the cast, you can't,
because we think Emma Watson's a good actress.
We do sometimes, occasionally, consider Emma Watson to be above average actress. Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be like you can't replace Alan Rickman. But you kind of can't. Like, you kind of shouldn't, at least.
It's at least a very tall task for the next guy
Coltrane,
to fill those
how
shoes.
would you, like...
And Rupert
you can, but why would you want to?
Well, and I think what makes this even more egregious is just the fact that HBO Max specifically just did a Return to Hogwarts special.
Ugh.
They brought everybody into the room and said, hey, let's reminisce and
Feels
talk
kinda
about the good old
disgraceful.
times and stuff. And it's just like, okay, so you just
Given
did
the
that.
whole movie series The Bird, basically.
Yeah. But
just we don't want this.
we don't
need this.
I think that's
need
the big
new
thing. We don't need this. Again, because you guys know me, I'm a big canon guy. This is gonna mess up the canon.
I don't think it's going to be, and I don't even know if it's going to be more loyal of an adaptation. What if they change more things? You ever thought about that?
They might. I mean, it's Warner Brothers.
You guys, I'm just the listeners.
Right.
There's a listener that wants this.
They could change a whole bunch of things, and it's HBO. They could change a bunch of things, but according to the reports, She Who Must Not Be Named is going to have a huge hand in the production of this project. So,
which I think is also funny because it sounds like all of we've been in such a revolt about her, like as a fandom, like the whole fandom's just revolted and tried to cancel her. That I think it's
even
ridiculous
the people that want this reboot.
They are that there are fans wanting this reboot. Who I don't know if they just don't realize or if they're just like she's going to be involved.
I would say not from us necessarily, but there's going to be a lot of pushback once people learn more about this and more of She Must Not Be Named's involvement in this. Like I think there's going to be what am I trying to say? What's the word when it's not protest, but when you say I'm not going to consume any of this thing. Yeah, there's gonna be so much. Thank you. There's gonna be so much boycotting on this from people, not necessarily us, but I said, is there any positives that could come out of this?
Well, and that's what I was gonna ask. Have we heard any good arguments for why we should do this, other than maybe more content or whatever?
Yeah.
I think it could approach it in a whole new. You could approach it with a new kind of ambience to it. Mm-hmm. I think about with the pictures before the illustrated editions and the illustrated editions, the changes there. Mm-hmm. So maybe artistically, this could be a cool thing to look at.
I would also say something that can't be denied, and it's something that we've experienced in Star Wars itself. And I know this is not a Star Wars podcast, but obviously I'm a Star Wars guy, so. The original trilogy was made for a specific group of kids. The prequels were made for a specific group of kids, and the sequels are made for a specific group of kids. There's going to be kids who are currently reading the Harry Potter books, but maybe at this point, maybe there's not as many because of everything that's going on with She Who Must Not Be Named. Maybe their parents are not letting them read them anymore. But there still is there could be a next generation of kids who would be able to grow up with this adaptation of the books, that this would be kind of their Harry Potter, and they're able to connect with these more like we did with the films and the movies. Now, granted, all they have to do is just watch those movies as well, and they could have the same effect or whatever. But I think there is the possibility, and I think whether we think it should happen or not, there will be that next generation of kids who will watch this series, and this will be the actor will be their Harry Potter, their Hermione, their Ron. It's going to be different than ours, and so in that case, it is special for those kids. It may not be special for us, but it will be special for them.
I just hope it takes a hard right turn soon and it ends up being a Marauders series.
I do too.
Because kids can connect with that.
Yep.
You can draw it out. You can do so much with them.
I've got a guest.
Jennifer!
Hi!
Happy birthday!
The only positive.
Oh, thank you.
Birthday.
Yes.
The only positive
I'm
line
29.
of this episode.
You look.
Only
You
throw
don't look.
yourself in the
You don't look
natty.
24. You don't look 24.
Jennifer, how do you feel about them rebooting Harry Potter?
I
Yeah.
don't know if you knows. Do you know about all the?
They're trying to
HBO
reboot
is
Harry
thinking
Potter. Have you heard about
rebooting
this?
The Harry Potter
H-
series,
Okay, well,
doing a 7-season
HBO Max is
TV show.
finalizing a series. Yeah, HBO Max is finalizing it.
Oh, I
A,
didn't
a
know
deal
that.
for it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
we're
I
still not
commented on it on one of your
You
posts
did.
somewhere.
You did.
And I said that, if they're just going to do like a complete remake,
Mm-hmm.
no, it was good the way it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But if they're going to
Amen.
like add on new stories and stuff, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
there's positive outlooks to this. I just don't want this. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. None of us do. Jennifer, are you going to stick around? Are you going to stay for our next segment, or do you have to run?
Do you have another segment? Yeah.
We do.
We do have another
I need
segment.
a chair.
So
Yeah.
you
We need to get a
can
chair. Let me
go get a
run
chair.
and grab one.
All
To
righty.
the next
So here we are to our main segment, and we're joined by Jennifer, Abby's mom. She is now officially a guest on the podcast. This is exciting.
So exciting.
So what we're about to do right now is that I have 10 different headcanons that have been posted online. And just to define what a headcanon is, and Alicia was kind of making fun of me for looking up to, but I just wanted to make sure that I did my due diligence and defined this correctly. These are ideas held by fans of the series that are not explicitly supported by any sanctioned text or other forms of media. So fans maintain these ideas in their heads outside of the accepted canon. So, hey, I don't care what happens. This is what I believe. So I have 10 of them right here. And what we're going to do is that we're going to decide if these are valid headcanons or these are not. It's a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of an overreach.
Where's this
When
gonna
you
go?
say valid, you mean like supported by canon?
Supported
in
by
some kind of
canon.
way.
in
Do
some
they have
kind of way.
credibility?
Do they have
I'm gonna-
credibility?
Well,
Yeah.
Abby, that's the angle I'm always gonna take. So you don't
Yeah.
have to take that angle.
Yeah, and just to shout out a previous episode, one of the first episodes that Spencer and I did for the show
Way
requirement
back.
was fan theory. So this is kind of the same general, like, could you see it? Like, could this be possible? It's kind of that same idea.
But it's this new things.
But this is new things.
or reestablishing things.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys ready? This is the first one.
I was born ready.
Okay. So
We've not looked at.
as we know, Hagrid was a very funny character at times in Harry Potter, which makes it all the more comical to imagine him using his umbrella to mow the lawns on Hogwarts grounds. He would have had to do it while no one was watching. So he's swinging it from side to side, sending grass flying around, which would have made his job even easier. So this headcanon is that Hagrid cuts grass with his wand or with his umbrella.
I'm gonna be honest. I never thought about the fact that they would have to mow the lawn or cut grass. I just assumed.
Yeah. Is
That
that
maybe it was
part of the
magic
caretaker's
grass.
duties?
I guess it is. I don't know.
I
Otherwise
was
it'd be
thinking the same thing. I'm like, it's probably just magic grass.
magic grass,
They produce spells for everything in this place.
right?
The grass
Well,
probably
We have
doesn't
magical
grow.
plants.
That's
You
true.
know?
We do. So what do you guys think? This is
No.
thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you guys think?
Thumbs down, magic grass.
There we go.
It's comical.
Don't take
It's
that
funny
out
to
of
think
context.
about,
Yeah, guys.
but I
Go
don't think
touch
that
some
it actually
grass.
happens.
I like thinking of Hagrid doing lots of things with his umbrella, but cutting grass is not.
It's not one of them.
It's
that's
not
gonna be
something
a
I've ever given a
copy.
thought to.
That's a copy for sure.
Oh no.
Just gonna
Anyway.
stop speaking now.
Okay, so this one is a little bit sweet, or maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just overly emotional, but we'll find out here in a second. So, the next headcanon is both Sirius and Lily were close to their siblings before they came to Hogwarts. After Sirius was sorted into Gryffindor, Sirius's family was ashamed to be related to him, and Regulus also started ignoring his brother. Petunia was jealous of Lily's abilities and immediately started distancing herself from her. And although Sirius and Lily could never replace their own siblings, both of them found a sibling in each other.
I don't know that I would ever say that either of them were close with their siblings growing up.
It didn't seem like Petunia.
I can see them like feeling like siblings. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think Sirius and Lily, we don't know enough, but I don't think Sirius and Lily were all that close.
Well, in my HBO Remax reboot, I would have them be close like siblings if we had a Marauders series.
If we had a Marauders series, which would be much better than whatever we're going to get.
Yeah.
I'm all about the Marauders series.
Yeah.
I'm all over it.
Yeah.
I think Petunia, Severus was involved in Lily's life pretty early on, and Petunia hated him. So I don't think she ever was super close. And then Sirius's door and Regulus's doors were like always locked, right?
Yeah.
So they're very different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see more about Regulus, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's keep going. So most of these, again, a lot of these also came from like sad headcanon. So we're about to head into the sad part of this episode. So we've been angry, we've been happy, we've been comical, and now we're about to be sad. So here we go. So one of the sad things about Sirius and Harry's relationship can be viewed as they both saw each other as a substitute for James.
I don't know if that's headcanon as much as just inferred canon, but
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Sirius thought of Harry like James.
Yeah. Nice.
And Harry thought of Sirius as a father figure, making him James. So sure. But Harry, as we've said before, Harry had multiple father figures.
Yep.
Dumbledore and Hagrid being two other ones.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So next one. When Remus Lupin cast the Patronus on the Hogwarts Express in The Prisoner of Azkaban, it was the first time that he had done it in 12 years. And he was only able to do it because he saw Harry in front of him.
Listeners can't see Spencer's hand.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
Down. Thumbs down. Remus is an accomplished wizard, and he was a werewolf as well, so he probably got into a bunch of rough situations where he'd need a Patronus, so he didn't even hesitate in the Prisoner of Azkaban movie.
And he was able to teach it so well that, like, I don't agree.
I like the thought of it only because, like, you need a happy, powerful memory to do a Patronus charm. You need something to really make you happy. And he hasn't been happy in the last 12 years of his life after losing all of his friends. And so it's a nice thought. I still would be like, seems unlikely. Because he probably could have thought of James and Lily and Sirius anyway at a moment in their lives to where, like, I would think the moment of when they were in the Shrieking Shack and Peter, Sirius, and James were with him as their animal, that could be viewed as probably one of his happiest moments of them knowing who he was and they accepted him. But I also like the thought that, that for the first time in a long time, Remus was overjoyed by being able to see Harry, the son of his best friend.
He just didn't treat Harry that way. Not that he was mean to Harry, but he wasn't like, "Are you okay, Harry? Oh my god!" He was just like, "All right, Harry." He's like, "How does this guy know my name?"
Listen,
very calm.
Every time I see you, I could jump all over you, but I don't. So let's be careful of taking someone's calm and collected posture to be factual of what they're feeling on the inside.
I'm just saying it's a nice thought. It is not a.
It is a nice thought. Love that. Yeah.
Well, I'm notorious for not remembering things the way they really were. But wasn't he like pretending to be asleep the whole time? So he was super excited. He was hiding it really well.
Yeah, he was.
I think he was asleep. I don't think he was hiding
the entire time. He was smiling the entire time doing that. Yeah, just going all crazy. Yeah, the whole time. Alrighty. Next one. this one's also not a really major one, but it's that Molly danced with Harry at he and Jenny's wedding in the mother son dance.
That lives in my head canon. I'll let that go. Yep.
Why not?
Yeah.
Who else is he gonna dance
Is that a little
with?
tear? I think it was a little tear.
Hermione. Yeah. Ron.
Oh, he could have danced with Hermione. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Rita Skeeter.
No, he would have done it with Molly.
Yeah, it would
He
have been
would've.
Molly. Yeah.
Yeah.
In her flea form.
Yeah, in her flea form. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we're going to stay on the Molly train here for a second. And that does not sound good, as it does sound like a drug. And I'm very, very sorry. But we're going to keep on this train anyway. So Fleur knitted Molly a jumper with an M on it because she realized that Molly was the only one who didn't get one for Christmas.
In my head canon, it's a really poorly made sweater. Like Fleur tried, but she just can't do it.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like we would have seen. I guess we weren't. Yeah, because that was not a good Christmas for Harry, Ron, and Hermione. So who knows if she did or not? But if she did, it was a bad sweater.
And Molly had to just accept it and. Oh, thank you.
There was
Ron
also
always does.
there was also another sad headcanon one that I didn't put on here, but I'll share it with you guys. It's the fact that Molly made one for Fred after the battle of Hogwarts, just out of continuation. Like it just was set in her head to do it, and she gave that one to Fleur because it had an F on it.
Okay, I think that she made it, but I don't think she gave it to Fleur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that as well. Okay, here we go. This one I thought was funny. I don't know if this is possible, but I thought this was funny.
Are we cutting grass again?
No, we're not cutting grass. Harry and Ginny visited Petunia after they got married, and she almost fainted thinking that they were James and Lily.
They wouldn't have visited Petunia. Harry hates those people.
I'm going to go this. I think I kind of like it.
I think it's fine, but I don't think it happened.
I'm not mad about it, but I don't know that I can I don't.
You know, Harry might have visited Dudley. Maybe Dudley went to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
There's my headcanon adaptation of that.
I actually just listened to just tonight the whole goodbye scene right before the 7 Harrys took off.
Yeah.
So I just listened to that part where Dudley comes up to him and
you're not a waste of space.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Why was it not in the movie?
Because
it was a deleted scene.
Because the scene was awful and awkward. It was terrible. It was not executed.
But the Petunia part of the scene was good.
Oh, I agree.
She almost said something.
Mm-hmm.
It says she looked like she was going to say something, and then she turned. So it makes me wonder what she was thinking, what she was going to say and didn't say.
Maybe that was enough to get them to visit. I don't know. It could have been. I'm holding out hope, guys. Okay.
You do that, Dave.
Hey, that's all I can do is hope. So next one is McGonagall actually lives in a quiet Muggle neighborhood. It said that she would likely have taken a break from magic entirely, and considering that McGonagall grew up in a nearly magic-free household and once fell in love with a Muggle, it would make sense that she might want to return to those roots while not teaching. It would be a simpler life and perfect for everyone's favorite professor. This is obviously me reading off of Reddit.
No, but when would this have been in her life?
I have no idea. Doesn't say.
There's no time.
Today.
Yeah, maybe she retired after Hogwarts, but she was immediately headmistress after Dumbledore, or after Severus, I should say.
So you think this was maybe when she was working for the Ministry of Magic, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe.
So maybe then.
Because in Cursed Child in 2020, I don't remember what it was, last week, 2022 or something, she was still working as headmistress.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I imagine her living at Hogwarts or in
she lived in
nearby.
She lived in Hogsmeade.
She lived in Hogsmeade
when she was married.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. But maybe earlier in her life, I don't know.
Maybe she was.
I mean, the way she talks
for a little while and tormented Umbridge.
That would be hilarious.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. That's my headcanon as well.
That's how she spent her summer holidays.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, Umbridge would probably take her in, and then it'd be miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the way she talks about Muggles and Sorcerer's Stone in the book, like to Dumbledore, she's like, you can't put them with these Muggles. Like, I hate them.
Well, but that's also because they're the worst. Like that family, the Dursleys were the worst. She was like, you can't do this to this poor kid.
Yeah, she had been watching them for a while. She had been on the street watching them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here's another, our last one. This is the last McGonagall one that we have. And it is during the first few years that Severus was teaching at Hogwarts, all of the other teachers were very uncertain of him. They all thought that Dumbledore was mad for hiring him, as they all knew of his reputation as a Death Eater. But eventually, he struck up a very playful rivalry with Minerva. They would sit together at Quidditch matches and pass snarky comments back and forth, both of them snorting in amusement. It also wasn't uncommon to find them sitting together in the evenings having a cup of tea or a glass of fire whiskey. By the time Harry Potter came to Hogwarts, Minerva believed in him almost as much as Dumbledore did. Dumbledore often urged Severus to tell her the real reason he defected from the Death Eaters, but Severus always refused. His hatred of the young Gryffindor was often a point of contention between the two unlikely friends, but their friendship remained strong. It withstood Voldemort's return and the reformation of the Order of the Phoenix. But in the aftermath of the Battle of the Astronomy Tower and Dumbledore's death, Minerva was completely shocked and outraged. She couldn't believe that she had befriended him at all and swore that she'd never forgive herself for trusting him. And during the last year the two taught together, she avoided him at all costs, talking to him only when it was necessary, and when she did so, it was rather stiff. After the Battle of Hogwarts ended and he was dead, however, she learned the truth about his actions from Harry, who told her about his tragic tale. She cried on and off for days, and the first time that she came face to face with his portrait, she completely broke down.
I don't know that I would think of them as chummy, like super friendly, but I could definitely see her sympathizing or empathizing with him and trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to be the one to be kind to him.
I think their rivalry was very real.
Oh, yeah.
And also, but maybe she also went out of her way to play back and forth with him on it. But there was never snorting or smiling.
Yeah, I don't agree with the whole snorting and
there weren't that. Yeah,
teasing.
The rivalry
wasn't.
The rivalry definitely wasn't playful. Now we do. Here's what.
But it wasn't good fun.
It wasn't good fun, and also I mean we saw it in the films itself with Lockhart, with Umbridge. They can double team anybody pretty well with their
Snark.
Really smart, sassy comments. Both of them kind of have, and really it's more Alan Rickman and Maggie Smith and their portrayal of it. So in that sense,
they had a very high respect for each other, and they're both stiff as a board, and that's why we love them.
Yes,
they're both strict as all get out. But I think about the scene in Half-Blood Prince where the three bring the cursed necklace.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
He goes, Severus. So it's but there's a moment of concern on her voice and his, and then they just they're powerful team. They know they're the best cats there.
Yes, it's that, and also the way she says, "Oh, Severus," it's almost like thank God you're here kind of moment.
Yes,
we can get to the bottom of this because, you said, it's the two of us. And so for those reasons, I look at not the first part of this Reddit post, but the second part and said, yeah, that I could definitely see that being the case for sure.
Right.
But that's going to do it for us. And
she barely ever cries.
She barely cries.
That's not the McGonagall we know. Dumbledore's death. She's like the Ron Swanson of the Harry Potter universe.
I've only cried 2 times in my life. Once
crying acceptable funerals and the Grand Canyon.
Well, it was like I've only cried 2 times in my life. Once when I was hit by a school bus, and 2 when I heard that little Sebastian had died. So
I forgot those rules for other people. He would never cry at those things.
Yeah. Fish for sport, not food. Fish meat is practically a vegetable. It's like fish relaxes me. It's like yoga, except I still get to kill something. Yeah.
It's a little different, but my favorite Ron Swanson quote is, "Any dog under 50 pounds is a cat, and cats are pointless."
They're pointless.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
are the scissors broken in your house, son? And he just has like super short hair.
This has officially become the Ron Swanson podcast. Join us next time as we talked about our favorite Leslie Knope.
Next time we know it, they're going to be trying to reboot Parks and Rec, so we might as well reminisce while it lasts.
Well, we're not going to get into that, so that's how we know it's time to say goodbye, kids. But thank you so much for watching or listening to this week's episode. Whether it's the day of release or we're just one of the many podcasts in your queue right now, we appreciate your support. If you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, make sure to subscribe or follow and leave us a fair review, as it helps us reach more people and more Potterheads. I'm looking at you, Washington Sentinel. The bane of
spread the word. We do not want a reboot of Harry Potter.
Yeah, spread the word.
Make something else.
Now, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment your own headcanons that you may have, or even your thoughts on the Harry Potter HBO series that is about to come out. Now, if you want to reach us in any different way, you could either email us at showofrequirement@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at hpotter_fanatics. But for Spencer and Abby and Jennifer, this is David from the Show of Requirements, a Harry Potter podcast. And until next time, mischief managed.